Hello, everybody. This is a very special program, and this is something that we all
Hello,
have to
everybody.
pay.
This is a very
Sorry, we have to do this because of the news coming out of Liberia, and we are not going to sit and don't speak about those ills that continue to pop up in that country. But just a short video that I want to make. I've been busy, but when I saw the newspapers, I got so angry with myself. And the only way I can vent my anger is to discuss the issue. George Weah is like he's about to destroy Liberia or plunk Liberia into a civil crisis. I'm saying this because I'm, I'm reading that George Weah is about to put the AFL on the streets on elections day, before and on elections day. The AFL on the street. It means George Weah is inviting chaos. The fact that Weah would think about putting the AFL in the streets, that's tantamount to coup. That's tantamount to coup. That's not a democratic process. It's advising George Weah to put free elections day. Who is advising him? Who told him that the AFL in elections? To even say that they want to put the AFL out on election day, that's electoral interference. You have already scared the Liberian people to go out of the vote. I thought some of them were smart people. To even say that, look, you put AFL on the street, you already scared the Liberian people to go out of the vote. There's rumor going around that you want to steal the elections, that there will be chaos. Then you have no way to do a better job for the Liberian people, but to begin to say, look, we'll put AFL in the streets. That has already scared the Liberian people. You might have a very poor turnout on election day. That's the worst statement that anyone could have made in the democratic process. At what point in time you talk about deploying the AFL when there is chaos? You would have done all you could, prepare whatever you want to do. People be on the standby for electoral violence that will go beyond the control of the Liberian National Police. Society has democratic the that be statement. That's the worst statement. To even say it. Who know these people? Did you consult partners, those who are even fighting to have a free, fair, transparent election? Did you consult them? Did they advise you that that's the best route to take? I don't think any international partner would have told you that. You know that what happens when you have people who are not reading the people who are not reading the pages of history, that what can happen. Those children who did not smell the war, so many for some reason or not, they are advisors. They are advising George Weah. You know why? The way things going, let's put the army in the street. The army should not be in the street on elections day. You cannot put the army in the streets on election day. That's the worst statement ever made by George Weah. Let me be on the record to say, George Weah is not careful. You are about to destroy your own record, your effort from your football field career, and you came into politics for whatever reason. God gave you the opportunity to serve, to even dream about putting the AFL in the streets, that's tantamount to a coup. That's creating chaos. That's inviting chaos in the country. That's the worst statement that you have ever made. I hope you all will go back to the drawing board, retract your statement, because you cannot put the AFL in the street. You cannot. And, let me say it again. You are inviting chaos. That's the message. That's the simplest message I can send to you and your people. You guys are inviting chaos in that country. And guess what? If you put AFL in the streets, there might be a counter reaction. Then you put the country on fire again. You know what? When you do that, you know what happened? The international partner will stand outside and look at you people to kill yourself once again. More and more. But get people in that country. The AFL cannot be deployed on election day. To even think about it, to say it, you can do all of your planning behind the scene. Just in case there will be such a violence that will be beyond the control of the National Police. So all the years you've been serving as president, you didn't know that election was coming? You did not prepare for elections? You go back to retract, do these people should even know. What do you when the girls when there is a violent of these stuff, start. Okay, so sorry for the interruption, but our concern is just to hear that the Liberian government is deciding to put in the street the military. That suggests to some of us that, the elections is about, there's something that people can do, there are action people can take. People are concerned about elections not being free and fair. The Constitution calls for a free and fair election. When you hear the word free elections, it means there will be no intimidation. The people will go out there without any fear to cast their ballots, without any interference. But if you decide to put guns in the streets, you definitely have stopped or have discouraged many voters. I hope political parties, civil society organizations, religious leaders, they will run to the Supreme Court and let the justices issue a stay order on such a pronouncement. Even the government herself, I think it's just about time that the government herself should go back to the drawing board and recall her own statement. Because that is not a good decision. That is not a good statement. That is something that intimidates the people, the right of the people to vote. You have already put fear in the Liberian people. And that's the worst that any man should have done. That's too elementary for anybody to. You ought to went to two of them want to go schools. They should be. Those are simple civic issues. Some people can read the pages of history, so because of that, you make the kind of a serious blunder most of the time. When you put the mercury oxide, there's very likely there will be a counter reaction. Why if you put the mercury oxide and election result is people are not satisfied with election result? What do you do? Which will be the case anyway. People will always not be satisfied with election result. So you give reason for them to join in the street, and then there'll be chaos. The police get their guns. Are you telling? Are you? I don't know why people are even thinking of this. You know, you want to put a military oxide for what reason? So the police now cannot conduct the election. Party was issued a statement from the onset. They were prepared to conduct the election, free and fair election, to protect political parties and candidates and all of those stuff. Electoral process. So where the other statement coming from? You know why? There are problems with individuals in the country. The Liberal National Police should have been prepared ever since. You and the Liberal National Police, President Weah and your group, people should be prepared for this day, because this event is not just going on the football field. It's a serious matter. So you people should have been prepared for this. But you're about to spoil it. I hope it's not late. I hope you guys will retract your statement. Take it from there. Tell your public relations people to go back on the radios and in the papers and call a major press conference and address this issue. You cannot. We cannot. You cannot put the military in the streets on election day. Even now, in election day, you cannot put the military in the street. You know why? One of the best things you guys could have done? You people should have written the United States Embassy. You are rating the ECOWAS. How do they send a small team of mission into Liberia to monitor and be prepared for any situation? Other than that, trust me, and I want to be on the record, you'll make a mistake. It might get worse. There are two major rival groups in Liberia, the United Party and the CDC. If we are winning election, CDC, United Party people will say they were cheated. The United Party win election, we have people will say they were cheated. So that where the problem, that where the fire could start from. So to prepare for this kind of situation, play a neutral role. You would have all the discussion you'll be having with international partners. What are some of the things you've been telling them? You should make a special request. If you thought for any reason that there was fear that the election would have ended up in violence, would have called for international bodies to send a small mission in that country, other than you deciding to put the AFL in the street. To even say it, you intimidated Liberians. People will be afraid. Maybe you do, it's like you guys are planning, because this is something like a plan. Now we talk about the military, people who read military science will start thinking differently. You'll be thinking about, we want to stop violence and all of this stuff. No, that's not being looked at. Others will say that maybe you guys want to install a military government. If for any reason you do not win elections, will we be wrong if we interpret your statement in that direction? So that's what we are. Why did you even make this statement? The military should be put in the street when there are violence that the Liberal National Police could not handle. During the time of governance, the AFL is supposed to be in the barracks. They're where they're supposed to be. They're not supposed to be in the street. It is the police that take over the civil authority of the government. Guard everybody. Make sure arrest people when something going wrong. They are the one. The police has not told the public that they're not able to do those things. So this is a serious matter, and we think we're going to keep discussing it. But I just thought to speak a little bit about it because that scares me. I don't think in the history of Liberia people have done that. Besides the Dole regime. Dole was a military government. So that way you're copying from, that mean, of course, that means you are not a democratic government. You must let all of us be aware. But Dole government during the 1985 election, the reason why you saw soldiers on the street was because that was the transition from military government to a civilian government. So Dole was in power as a head of state, the commander-in-chief. Even before you put, let me say this one to you, before you even decide to put the military in the street, the national legislature supposed to give you the approval to do that. Because even to declare war, you have no power on your own, except on during emergency time, you can do that and immediately inform the legislature. But nobody fighting war in Liberia. Election is just a few days from now, and they're talking about putting military in the street. Who gave you the authorization to put military in the street, Mr. President? Who gave the authorization to put military in the street? They even decide putting military in the street. Did you get a consent of the legislature? Or they themselves too don't know what to do? They're supposed to, in fact, cite you on this. If I was a lawmaker, Joe, where you were appeared before the Senate or representative, maybe tomorrow, I'm going to call you and say, why are you intimidating the Liberian people? Why are you intimidating the voters? Why? Why are you scaring the people? You don't want the people to go out and vote? The pronouncement of putting the AFL in the street is an intimidation. It's an interference in the right of the people to vote, to cast their ballot free without any interference. When they go to the Supreme Court, they will latch at you, Mr. President, and order your group. Even though the Supreme Court themselves will be, you have already choked them. If there's any petition before them calling for a stay order on your pronouncement, they get no other option, they will do it. Because what you have done is wrong. What do you want to achieve? Let the people have the free and fair elections. Whoever wins the election, that's it. Just where you lose the election is better than putting yourself into some other problem. If you lose the election, you lose the election. Whoever wins the election, win the election. But I don't want to imagine the military in the street and election result is announced and you don't win election. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? There'll be chaos. In fact, to even think about it, trust me, the next few days, there might be tension in the country. There will be tension in the country. Just to announce they putting the military in the street for elections, you are already invited some, situation that people are going to be thinking very differently about the whole electoral process. I know we're advising you. Even if you're preparing just in case there will be a violence and how you're going to approach it, that is not the way to go about it. That's not the way to go about it. I'm sure other well-meaning Liberians will talk about this issue, and people will caution you seriously not to do that. It's not even about caution at this time. People must run to the Supreme Court and file a petition to stop you from doing that. You should equip the police for this kind of situation. In a kind of situation, police should have had some special gear, some special well-clean uniforms, and be in the midst of civilians, because civilians going to vote. The military should be in a barrack until for any reason you call them. What are you deploying them for? For what? To intimidate the people? Carry guns to the polling centers? Is that what you're going to do? Or you're going to start fine-tuning it? No, we're not going to carry police to the polling center. You'll go be in the street. The moment you put police in the street with arms, you intimidate the people. Many people will not come out. Then the few people you'll go out, they're voting, you say, oh, Joe, we are winning election. Then people will resist that election. That's how people create chaos in the country. That place peaceful no matter the stress on the people, but it's better than the Civil War. Joe, you were not in the country during the 15-year war. You were not there. You did not suffer along with the Liberian people. So be careful. Anything you do, elections, it could be bad. And that some of the things you guys have started. I don't know who advised you to even pronounce that. They're going to put a military in the street. That's the worst decision you have ever taken. You say democratic election, you're having election, don't put army in the street. The police are prepared. That's why you should have prepared the Liberian National Police during the 5 years of your governance. But you didn't do that. Are you telling Liberian police cannot handle any situation? There will only be war when people, other citizens get up there, they want to defend you beyond the vote that will come out or the unity party. I think these are the two groups. And for any reason, you guys will have any issue to even start thinking about, putting military people out. Yes, you have all the discussion be having with partners. Yes, you have asked them to bring some people in. Only a small team, contingent. Just they being around would have put, some confidence in the people to go out there and vote. Rather than Liberian men going put AFL people in the street with arms. I don't know. That's the saddest thing. And we would call some people to come and discuss this, but I thought to just say that uprightly. Some of you must now go back to the drawing board. Recall your statement. Call your PR people, your press secretary, and tell them they need to go out there and begin to do the dirty work. Because whoever advised your government to do that was the wrong thing. You cannot put the military in the street during elections. That would be the worst to be done. You intimidate the people. Some people even say, let me sit down here. People dying already. 4 persons died just in Lofa County. 4 persons, just a few days. Another fellow, they say, why? He was, got in I think, Ganta or whatever. So with all of these little things going on, it's not reason for you to put the army in the street. It's reason that the police, you should have called the police director. Look, this is what we're having. Are you able to conduct the elections? Deploy the people and keep the peace. But if you don't do that, trust me, you put police, you put the army in the street, Weah, it will be a different situation. People, in fact, international partners ready to even announce that the international partners, you heard the U.S. ambassador, the U.S. embassy statement, right? Where they call it on their people to buy their food and stay out of the street at certain time of the night, all that kind of stuff. Those people don't just talk. They listen, they get their intelligence, all the small conversation you're having, they hearing some of those things, so they themselves have. So when you come now and issue a kind of statement, you give reason why they in fact they issue those statements, or their statement warning their own people. Even myself, we hear right now that statement is just everybody in the country. People going to start discussing this very issue. Why did they come up with this? Military personnel are prohibited from disrupting elections. They should never be around ballot boxes, polling centers. Military personnel should never ever be around polling centers with guns. The moment you even put it in the street, the opposition people will have reason to tell you the election will not be free and fair. And guess what will happen? Sooner or later, people start calling for a transitional period. Then who will you blame? Well, you guys are not guarding the government very well. Military personnel should never be close to ballot boxes, polling centers. They should not be there, even in the street, where people walking to go and cast their vote. Somebody come in the corner and see police or military men standing somewhere, they get afraid. But say, let me go sit down here. I don't know what coming to happen here. Why is there some tussle, then some military men fire one gunshot, that one again go west? You don't calculate all of those things. That's the worst thing people have done, and I hope you guys will be able to go by the drawing board. It's late, but there's much can be done. The only thing I would say, the media people, civil society, the religious leaders and everybody should file a petition to the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court warn George Weah through the petition through a rate. Let they issue a rate to warn him. They all can sit down to that country go back into chaos. I mean, there's too much thing going on around the world. So people are going to come to your aid and understand. We understand some things are going on. Let me be honest with you. There are some people right now, the global fight between China and America, all this, so people feel like they can do anything to damage the system, and then people feel like they can lean on one superpower. But you don't know what can happen. In all of these calculations, you don't know what can happen. The ordinary people suffer, but even you yourself, all the people who are being government, whatever low resources people are gathered, you're not too careful. Liberian, Baka Matthew told me once, Liberian people are not afraid. The civil war you saw, the way people kill one another, you still have people in the street. I saw people in Lofa County. People say, oh, the forming group of defend themselves, all those things. The best way to have addressed some of those things, call political party leader. You joke with what you should be doing. Call all of the candidates. You all sit around the table. Look, we have elections. Doesn't mean because you're taking part in the election, so you are enemies. You, the Bwaka, the Komi, the Gonglo, everybody should have sat around the table. Well, we have a few more days to election. And you, George Weah, should have been the one to initiate that. What do we do? There are a lot of signs that people want to go violent in this election. Okay, my own advice to all of you candidates is to talk to your people then. Let maintain the peace. But you leave all of those things. You're not even talking to the people. You're acting like people who are fighting on the football field. Now you want to bring the military in. You need the military see. Suppose something goes wrong. Mr. President, suppose something goes wrong, then what happened? What do you say? Everything come on your head. Just pronounce me. Even if somebody told you, hey, you don't think through it, we say you don't want to take the decision. The best we have done, if you wanted the kind of decision, go to the senators. Let them issue a resolution. Let them pass a resolution. Then that resolution, you will dwell on it. And begin to say, okay, even they themselves know they can't do it. They're not supposed to do it. But let us assume they did that. That will give some small legal flavor to it. But that would also be wrong still if they even did. They should own it or during crisis. You should call on them to see how you can use the military during violent time, extreme violence beyond the control of the Liberian National Police. But to sit and call the police, for me, it's not a fine idea today. It's only a military group. I say you want to turn the government to a military group, on election day. Then there's something else. After election and night, people look. Because the police will be in the street. White people counting ballot people, all of this. Who will be, even the electoral workers, who will be brave to be all in the street? Ballot people, I remember doing 1997 election, away in Zolowo, Lofa County. The ballot boxes after we close. We took the ballot boxes. If some of you people know Zolowo, we walked from Zolowo to Zozo that night with the ballot boxes. So if you think I military people in the street, do I get a mind to put ballot by my head and walk in the street in the night? I wouldn't do that. Even Taylor with all his team when they got to that point of election, what we're talking about were not around. So you now, who is the peace ambassador, why we even be thinking about those things? Anyway, I guess a short video want to caution Liberians. We can't sit and allow Liberia to go beyond what it is. There's so much crisis in the world. Until you make a decision to protect your country, your people, other countries are not going to do it for you easily. Take note of that. If something goes wrong, think about Mali and Niger. What is happening there is not pleasant. If any of you ever dreaming about that kind of thing, it's not pleasant. France have pulled out from that country, pulled out their military. Somebody say, well, they're calling China to go in there. You know what it means to change system? That means they're going to be, you have superpowers fighting over that country. If you tell France to leave, you say, okay, we don't want America in here, America must leave. You don't understand the powers of these people. And I hope Liberia is not even dreaming an inch of that. You can't drive a miracle out of Liberia. If some of you even dreaming about that, you guys need to stop. Because the thing that will happen even among yourself, you don't even understand it. And there will be big chaos, you can't control it. After the innocent people have died, and people start calling for international help. This is the time people should sit and discuss. Look, election, nobody was born to be president for life or to be a minister for life. So you got to control yourselves. Election is just about an event. Liberians have the will to decide who to be president. But we start intimidating the people right now, it's not a good sign. There are more brave people than the few you have in around you, George Weah. I will tell you Baga story, and Baga say, the almost post school drive in my ears. You don't underestimate people when they're ready to do wickedness. Sometimes you think that people can get closer to you. For some reason, they get closer to you, it tends to be the worst. There were more strong people that were around Simon Door. More strong people. Today, where are they? When you fail to read the pages of history, you make a lot of mistakes every time. And some people may feel like, well, me, I can't die. Nothing can happen. Oh, I got guns around me. I got soldiers around me. Hey, don't depend on that. Just do the best you can to keep that place peaceful. Best I can do. Liberia is mixed with a lot of people. Some people that beheaded people that were in that country. If we not bring the dark days back, it's not going to be good for that country. There are more innocent people who suddenly find it difficult to find food to eat. Give them the chance to live life. Let them make a decision. Whoever they elect, so be it. You have a few more days to still run around for your campaign. You do that. Or you don't see the light, well, tell your cabinet, look, we don't win. We fight well, we don't win. Mr. President. We're sorry. This is what we have, and there's been some, so we end it as it is. So that's all we had to do here tonight. I mean, we're still having, we think we still will keep this discussion going.